Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible to you. So thank you for joining on time, guys. So we'll wait for some more time. We'll wait for other people to join. Actually, I hope you're able to see my screen. Can you confirm, please, Archie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So we will start in once the timer reaches to zero. Then you can
Okay,
start with the
sir.
introduction, and I will continue.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So guys, thank you for joining on time. So wait for the timer to reach zero, then we'll start with the session. Hello. So thank you so much for joining on time, guys. Though we'll wait for a timer to reach to zero, and once the timer reaches to zero, we will start with our session. So thanks for your patience.
Okay, I can start now. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Archijan and host for today's webinar. We're excited to have you with us, guys. If you need anything during the session, just drop your message in the chat. Our team is here to help you at every step. So today's topic is GitHub Copilot for developers, code generation and collaboration. This webinar is brought to you by the Azure Tech community, a growing space for learners who are passionate about cloud, AI, machine learning, IoT, open source, and DevOps. Stay connected, stay updated, and keep learning with us, guys. Okay, so today's session is sponsored by Synergetics and Microsoft. Synergetics is one of India's leading tech learning partners, helping students and professionals upskill in cloud, AI, DevOps, and modern technology. Our mission is simple: empower you with real industry-ready skill to grow in today's tech world. Here are the different learning solutions which is offered by Synergetics. You can see on my screen. Also, guys, feel free to reach out. We are happy to guide you. This is skilling journey. Your Microsoft certification journey start with fundamental, then move to role based, and finally lead to expert level certification. Then we run active emerging tech communities on Meetup, completely free to join. Also, you can be part of our communities in Pune, Gujarat, Nagpur, and Indore. Just open the Meetup app and join us and keep learning new technology with like minded people. Today's session is led by Makran Boir. He is a Microsoft certified trainer and consultant in Synergetics. Agenda for this webinar you can see on my screen. Also, guys, we are offering free learning achievement batch of this session. You just have to follow the step and you can get batch. Just you have to redeem your batches. I can share link on the chat box. Please follow the code of conduct to keep the session respectful and smooth. Screenshot and screen recording are not allowed. Let's maintain a safe learning space for everyone. Guys, we also run 4-day certification workshop for in-depth learning. This Saturday webinars are just a short overview. The full training happen in this workshop. We are offering special discount pricing for attendees. For details or registration, contact us. I already shared contact details on chat box. Do follow us on our social media platform for upcoming certification training, webinars, workshop and all. Thank you for joining, guys. Now I would like to hand over this mic to our speaker. He will continue ahead.
Thank you so much. So I hope my screen is visible to you. I have shared my screen. Can you give me a confirmation by giving me a thumbs up? You can give me a thumbs up or you can raise the hand and confirm please whether my screen is visible. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So before we start with today's agenda, let me introduce myself to you. I'm Makrand. I'm Microsoft certified trainer I have around 19 plus years of teaching plus development experience. I've conducted a lot of trainings into a lot of corporates, including TCS, Accenture, JP Morgan, LTI Infotech, Capgemini, Siemens. So these are some of my clients where I have delivered the training. So these days, I have a lot of involvement to a cloud related technologies on Microsoft Cloud, on the Azure Cloud, and on the AWS Cloud also. So I've completed my certification from the Microsoft side, AZ400 certification. So I'm Azure DevOps engineer, as well as I have finished my AZ104 and AZ204 certification also. So I'm Azure administrator and Azure developer also. And from AWS side, I have completed my AAI. I'm authorized AWS instructor, and I have completed one certification from the AWS side. So I'm AWS architect associate. So that is the introduction of the mine, and you can we can start with our session now. What we are planning to do in this session. So this is going to be a completely hands-on based session. So I will show you a demo throughout this webinar. So this is 2 hours of webinar in which I am planning to give the introduction to a different mode in the Copilot we are having. So we are having 3 to 4 different modes: ask mode, edit mode, agent mode, and recently which has introduced, which is plan mode. After that, I will create one simple application using Copilot. So once we create an application, I will go and save that application on the GitHub. I will push that application on the GitHub, and I will create an issue manually to do some kind of an improvement in my existing application. I will assign it to some person. That person will be doing that work. Okay, completing the work, and probably okay, there will be a somebody who is going to review your work, and once the review is completed, that person is going to open a pull request. Okay. And once the pull request is open, okay, that issue work is completed. Or once the pull request is merged, that issue is closed. So that part, that overall flow, we will see manually, and how to create issue, how to open pull request, so using agent with the help of, there is something called as a model context protocol, MCP server, so we will do the same step, whatever we have done through manually, we will do that with the help of agent, AI agents, and MCP server. So this is the overall the agenda for this session. So this is completely, going to be a hands-on training. So where I will show you the application creation with the help of a GitHub Copilot, and we will take it from there. Okay. So I hope the agenda is clear. So there is a lot to cover. So let's get started. One more point, if you do have any kind of a question, you can ask that question in the chat box. You are not allowed to speak So whatever question you are having, you can ask that question in the chat box. I'll read the chat box and I'll try and answer every question which is on the chat box. So let's get started. So I will open first, you know, the editor. Let me open an editor in the workspace folder what I have created. So let me open VS Code. So once VS Code is open, on that VS Code, you can see a chat. Can you see this chat? So once you click on that chat, this will open a Copilot chat. Just give me 1 minute. Let me start one software. So once I go and open this chat, this will open me a Copilot chat. So where I can put the prompt and based on that prompt, it will act on. So once you open a Copilot chat, so can you see this? So over here, we are having these different modes available. Okay. By the way, this session is not discussing what is Copilot. So I'm expecting you to know what is Copilot, because the agenda is not to discuss what is Copilot, and how to give a prompt. So that I expect you to know. So I'm expecting this, and based on your earlier knowledge. So these are different modes are available in the Copilot chat. So we are having 4 types of mode. So first one is ask mode, second is edit mode, third is agent mode, and fourth is, which has introduced recently just 2 weeks before, and that is plan mode. Okay. So what is these modes are responsible for? So first we are having ask mode. What is the purpose of that ask mode? So it can help you to get any kind of answer. So you go and give a prompt. With that prompt, the chat mode or ask mode will give you a answer of that prompt without doing any kind of a modification in your code. It is just like a question answer session. So you ask a question and this mode will give you a answer without doing any kind of a code change. So this mode is good for understanding the concept. So if you want to understand a particular code, so you can ask a question around that code. So ask a question, take a help in debugging, explaining that particular code. Okay. And this is the mode which is mostly helpful for brainstorming on a particular topic. So this mode, no code change. Now this mode can't do any kind of a changes inside your code. It will just respond to your questions. So think as if I'm asking to my supervisor or I'm asking to my boss, how can I do this task? So that boss or my supervisor or my teammate is going to respond. So these are the steps you will go and do this task. You know? So ask mode is we are going to ask a question, and that question will be answered by the Copilot. Then second mode, we are having edit mode. In the edit mode, we can ask a prompt and I can tell a Copilot to make a specific code changes for us. So Copilot suggests the edit to your file. Okay. And uh, once you approve those edits, then those file will get edited inside your code base. So in the edit mode, we are able to do some code change, do some specific code change. So for example, if I ask to change something, to refactor my code, applying, some kind of a focus change. Maybe there is some method called as create method. So, I want to do some kind of a changes inside the create method. I can go and give the prompt accordingly, and edit mode will go and perform that edit inside your code, and it will finally ask you, for the approval. So if I give a approval, then only that edit or whatever changes it has done, it will go and save in my code base. Okay, so Copilot propose edit that become actual changes in my code, when we accept them. So edit mode, you can think like a teammate, or somebody who is working under me. So where I will go and instruct my teammate or my junior, to draft changes for me. Okay. And once those changes is drafted by that teammate, that teammate will come to me and ask for me for approval. So edit mode is like that. Okay, but in today's session, we are going to work mostly on the agent mode. So today's session, we will give a focus on the agent mode. So agent mode is Copilot autonomous goal-driven mode. So where I can give a specific goal. Okay, and based on that goal, it will break down that goal, into some series of steps. It will plan those series of steps, and those series of steps will be performed autonomously, automatically, one after another. So for example, if I have a requirement of, working on, or if I have an application, but I want to add the login page to my application or authentication to my application, and if I ask to make all my pages secure, so agent mode will go and do that, okay, seamlessly for you by breaking down, by identifying which authentication approach to use, then automatically it will go and find out whatever be the target front end back end to be modified, and it will perform those changes, autonomously. So agent mode is Copilot autonomous mode where, so this Copilot autonomous mode, where it is acting as a goal driven mode. So instead of asking a question in the ask mode, instead of editing a file, a specific files in the edit mode, okay. And I will ask a specific goal to the agent mode. So agent mode will go and take that high level goal, plan it, executes the multiple steps, and do the changes inside the multiple files. So think of as if, so once I got an issue, I will ask the agent mode to complete that issue. So agent mode, think of as if it is acting as an assistant. Think of it is acting as a junior developer who is working independently, where I will go and supervise what that junior developer is doing. Ultimately, whatever changes that agent mode is doing, it will come to me for approval. Once I approve it, then only those changes will be accepted. You know, so you can think of this ask mode. I'll just go and draw a simple table from which you will be able to visualize what is this ask mode is going to do. Okay. Okay. And so we are having an mode. Then what it can do, okay, or what you will have to do, what you will give as a prompt. Okay. And what Copilot does. Okay. So in the ask mode, the very first mode we are having is ask mode. So the first mode is ask mode, where I will go and give only the question. So question, I can go and prompt any kind of a question in this chat box. So over here in this chat box, I can add any kind of a question. So what I can add a question. Okay, and what Copilot is going to do? So it is going to answer me that question. So it will answer, or it will explain, or it will suggest without doing any kind of a code change. So here you will not see any kind of a code changes. Second mode we are having edit mode, where I will go and ask a specific code change, or I will give a specific instruction to make a code change. So whatever be the target. So for example, if I ask to create an maybe create an employee, create an student, create an task. So whatever be the target edit, it will manage that target edit. So it will mix target edit. Okay. And then I need to approve. So once I approve, then those edit will be, available inside your code. Okay. And third type, which we will discuss, third type is agent mode. Where I will go and give one specific goal, one goal I will give. No? Uh, So once I give goal, what Copilot does, so it will plan, so plan that goal. It will break down into series of steps. Okay, and it will execute every step. Okay, automatically, and this is going to happen, automatically. So this is going to execute this steps automatically or autonomously. Okay, so when you ask a specific goal, so it will identify, it will go and create a plan. Okay, it will break down that into some steps, and finally it will execute those steps. So in this agent mode, whatever be the plan which is generated by that agent, uh, so I can't modify that plan. you know so I will have to go with that plan, and finally whether to accept or not, it is up to me. Okay, because it will give me a chance to approval also. And finally it is up to me whether I can accept it or not. So there was something what you need to edit this plan. So if I didn't like that plan, so for example, if I ask the Copilot agent to write one goal, let's say I'm asking the Copilot agent to secure all my pages, and in order to do that secure, all those changes, it is taking, okay, some kind of a authentication approach, which I don't like, which I want a specific type of authentication approach. So either you can go and specify it in the instruction, or there is one fourth mode is added. Okay, that that is added recently only. I think 2 weeks before only it has added plan mode. So where you will go and give a specific goal, which is also a just like a agent mode. Okay, but it will break down all those steps. So it will plan, it will break down into steps, and before it executes those steps, it will ask you a permission. So is this plan is okay? Okay, if you feel there is some kind of a changes you want in that plan, you can suggest those changes, and then finally you can execute those changes. So these are four types of modes are available, using which you can work inside the Copilot, GitHub Copilot. So we will be using this mode. Using this mode, I will create one simple project. I will go and store that simple project inside my GitHub. Okay, and then we will work on the GitHub. So let me just go and save this. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Do you have any question on this before we start creating an application? Any question on this? You can give me a thumbs up also if you are not having a question. That's fine. So guys, can you give me a thumbs up, please? Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. Okay, so let me now go and create some application. So I will give one simple prompt. So So I want to create an application. Where you want to create an application? So inside this workspace folder only. So there is something called as I want create this application at the rate workspace. And I will just go and make use of a slash creator or slash new. So this will help, so this is going to create a new project based on our description. Sohan is saying Sohan. What do you follow on? Yeah, okay, okay. You are giving a thumbs up to answer that. Okay, that. Okay, so I'm creating an application. So I'll give a prompt. So saying that create an JavaScript based web application. So I need a web application which is purely JavaScript based. Uh, for managing my task. You know, so I am working as trainer in Synergetics, and I want to manage my work effectively. So create an JavaScript based web application for managing my training related task as well as to manage non-training related task. So I'm just giving that prompt in this way. So I want ultimately to create a web application that uses a simple JavaScript, okay, and HTML, and make styling of project minimum using CSS only without using additional frameworks. So I'm just giving this prompt. So I want it to create the 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 web application using simple HTML, JavaScript, and it should style that web application by using a CSS only. And I will also say you may use npm also. So this way. So let's see what it is creating. So if you give this in the edit mode, if you give this prompt in the ask mode, so let's see what is happening. So if you give this prompt in the ask mode, so it will show you uh, so it will give you only the answer of your question. Okay. So it is not going to make any kind of a changes inside your application. So it is asking you, this is I have created an application. Do you want to save this over here, or do you want to create that application? So, and if I just go and so I will not make use of this ask mode. So basically, ask mode is giving you some questions, answer only. I will give the same prompt by using an agent mode. And agent mode, as soon as you select an agent mode, can you see this? This is going to activate it. Okay, so I'll talk about that later. So as of now, I don't have any kind of a tool selected. So you can see no tool is selected, and I'll ask to create an application. Okay, by using an agent mode. Agent mode is going to do, the changes inside your, application, or changes inside your file, and it will finally ask, me whether to create it or not. But in this case, it has given me a same response just like your ask mode only. So I'll just go and say, so I'll ask, create this application for me. You can see all these applications steps over here. But I was expecting this to not to show you this, but I need that to create it. So let me come back once again into the agent mode. Okay. And finally, let me give this instruction once again. Okay. Okay. So I'll just go and create the application. Let's see. And finally, it will ask me where to create application. So I'll just select that folder where I want that application to be created. So that application will be visible over here, Task Manager application. You can see that application over here. So now I need some changes inside this application. For example, so let's say I want this index.html to be, stored in the task manager app. I don't want in a public folder. So I can give those instruction, so this is just an example of an instruction. So I can specify that. Okay. So I want index.html file to store at root of the project, not in public folder. So I can give this instruction, and Copilot agent is going to do that, changes inside the instruction. Okay. Okay. And whatever be the changes it will, do, it will just give you over here. It is not doing those actual changes. So, and why that changes is not done, because I have explicitly gone ahead and disable all these tools. Now, if I just go and enable all these tools, I'll come to that tool when we discuss that MCP further. Okay. Now, after I enable this tool, these tools are enabled now. And if I just go and give that instruction once again, okay, then it should do that changes automatically, autonomously, and it will ask me whether those changes, is correct or not, whether you are accepting those changes or not. So it is going to ask me, I have done some changes inside the project. Is this okay? So if it is okay, you can just go and, so you can see. So there is a task manager, index.html is stored at task manager. So I can see over here, so can you see this index.html? Earlier it was present in the public folder. So I want to keep that. So you can see that index.html is present inside the public folder. I don't want that public folder in the task manager. So I can delete that. Let's see whether it is deleting that folder directly. So once I give that specific instruction, it will read that specific instruction, and it will, okay, plan those specific instruction, and then it will perform those, specific instruction. And let's see whether it has removed that public folder. It has not removed yet. Okay. So it is asking me a permission, whether it is allowed to do. So I will allow that. Okay. And it is using the rmdir command. So rmdir command is failed, and it is executing remove item. So that public folder is not empty. So rmdir command is going to work on the empty directory only. So first I will remove the content. Okay. And once I remove the content of the public folder, then it will finally remove that rmdir. So it has removed that public folder. Now I can ask this, how can I run this? So I can ask the Copilot only, so before I ask it to run, I can ask the Copilot to explain what you have done. So what changes you have done. But I'll ask directly to give me a steps to run this. So how to run this application? So to run this application, very first thing, I should go and make use of npm install, and once it is executed, npm install, you can just go and execute by using npx, or you can just go and make use of, live server also. So I will just go and ask, can I execute it on live server? So I'm asking that question to the agent mode. So it is giving me answer this. Yes, you can run this on the live server also. You know, okay, so I can execute first npm install, and I want this npm install to be performed on the terminal. And once your npm installed is execute, so I should go inside that project task manager, and I should do npm install. So npm install is going to read a package.json file, which is created, and that package.json file will download all the external dependencies what you are having inside the project. And those external dependencies will be downloaded, and then you will be able to run this application. Yeah, Sohan, it can do that, all those command also, but you will have to allow that. So if you ask, it can perform that agent mode can perform those command also. Okay, but you'll have to allow that. Yes. To answer your query, yes, it can do. So it is downloading those dependencies. Once it is completed, I'll show you. Okay, so once the downloading is finished, I can just open this and let's see how the application is looking. So I'll just go and run it on the live server. Okay. So this may work or this may not work. So if this is not working, then I will just go and give any other prompt to, you know, so let's see this. So if I just go and open this, so this has created some kind of a network call. So this is doing some kind of a network call. Okay. And since our backend is not working, this is giving us a problem. So what is that network call it is doing? I don't want this to interact with any component. It has created, I believe, some kind of a component it has created, React component. So I will instruct the Copilot agent that I don't want those component to be created in the React. I want minimal setup. Okay. Okay, so I'm asking the Copilot that I don't want you to use React or Angular. I want you to use only JavaScript, you know, and possibly use only one file of JavaScript. So let's see what it is giving. So you'll have to give a series of prompt to make it executable. So yes, so it has given me a plan. Understood you want a simple JavaScript task manager with no framework, only JavaScript, minimum CSS. I want it to generate. Yes, I want to generate. So I'll just say yes. So you'll have to interact like somebody, junior developer or somebody buddy assigned to me. So I will have to interact to my buddy, to my, developer, junior developer, to do that task. So whatever in your mind you are having, you can ask those questions. So it is, I think it is doing the changes in the background. I don't know what is happening. Yeah, it is doing the changes in the background. Okay, so can you see this? These are the changes it is doing it now. No. Let's accept all those changes. And it is doing a changes inside the app.js also. No. And, accept that changes also. Okay, and let me just go and see what it has done now. It has kept all these file already existing file and so I'm instructing Copilot to keep all the necessary files and unwanted files or folders to remove. So once the project is ready, I will be able to, do the further steps. So this is the last prompt I'm giving. Okay, and I will see what it is giving me. Okay, so can you see this is before it executes that command, it will ask me a permission whether I want to execute this command. And then this will go and show me this minimum setup, what it has done for me. You know. And if I just go and say npm installed once again with that new file change, and if I just say this file, I need this file to be executed. No, so you can see this. So this is the output you're getting. So you can add a training related task or non-training related task. So I have got one application, and we will see, we will take it ahead and we will make this application, is working application. So as of now, I will not check the whether it is working or not. So once I have that basic skeleton ready of the application, now I will ask that AI agent only to make it the Git repository for me. So how can I make a Git repository out of it? So that step I will perform. Let's perform this. So I will just go and create a Git repository. Okay, and I'll name task manager. That's the name of my Git repository. Where do you want to create? So I will create it under, let me create it under organizations. So I'll just create it under this task manager is a repository. I'll create it under my organization and I will keep it, instead of a private, I will keep it public repository so that it will be accessible to everyone. Okay. Once the repository is created, I can just go and create an local repository by using the git init. So you can do that by using a chat also, prompt also. So create local git repository for me. So this will ultimately will execute git init, and it will ask me whether I want it to execute. If I want this to do not ask, then I will approve that, enable auto approve. Then each time it will generate, it will execute, automatically. But I don't want that to happen every time. So I rather better control what to execute. So once you create empty git repository, now I want this to generate dot git ignore file. So this git ignore file is going to include what to include and what to ignore. So it is creating a git ignore file. So you can see this git ignore file is specifically go and ignore what node modules and all those files which are specified over here. So I'm okay with that. Okay, now I want you know staging and local repository. So whatever be the content I have added, I want everything to be staged. And once it is staged, I need okay, that changes to be made inside the local repository. So changes committed inside the local repository. So this is going to commit your changes inside the local repository. Now I will set up an remote repository. Okay. So help me to set up remote repository. I have already created remote repository and URL is, so this is the URL of my remote repository. Okay, so let's see. So it will generate or it will set up a remote repository. Can you see this? So git remote add origin. So this will set up your local repository is now connected with the remote repository. Now I want to push that. So help me. So by using git push, so you can just go and execute. This is not a command. I think. Okay, so this is creating a main branch explicitly, but main branch is already created. So I can just go and say git push origin main. And if you execute that git push origin main, you will see that, entire content which is present over here. By the way, it is showing me this git push origin main. And you can see this entire content is now added over here inside your remote repository. So I've just have one branch, okay, and it has only one commit. The commit message or commit is given 2 minutes before. Okay, so my code is available on the remote. So you can see this code. If you wish to clone, you can take a clone of this. If you wish to fork, you can fork this repository also. Now what I want, I want now, I want now with the help of MCP server, my agent, this AI agent should interact with this GitHub server. So this GitHub repository, what I am having over here, it should interact with this GitHub server or this GitHub repository, and probably it can go and create one issue. And over here, as of now, I don't have any kind of issue present. I want a brand new issue to be created, but I will not create it explicitly or manually. I was planned initially to create it, manually, but since we have lost, maximum time in setting up the project, that's why I'm dropping that plan. So I'll just go and create this issue implicitly or automatically, autonomously by using, agent, by using agent. Now let's see this. Now, if I go and click on this tool, if I just deselect all the tools which I'm having, and I'll say okay, and I ask, the Copilot, can you interact with GitHub? So it will show you, so it cannot interact with the GitHub because it does not know how to interact with GitHub. You know, and if I just activate that, already I have configured a MCP server, and if I just activate that GitHub MCP server, and if I say OK, and if I ask the same question once again, so can you interact with GitHub? So with the help of that MCP, so it will be able to interact. So yes, I can interact with GitHub repository. So yes, I can create a issue. I can create a pull request, inside that task manager, what I have created just now. So what is that MCP, is going to do over here? MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and if you are having a private service available online, private service available on your machine, and if you want to interact the AI agent to interact those private services present online or present within your machine, then you can go and make use of a MCP server, for that task. So I will show you one thing. So I'll just show you the material which is available online only. Okay, I'll show you this. I'll give you this link also. So what is an MCP? You know, so MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Think of as if it is like a USB-C standard for AI tool. You know, so think of as if it is acting as the USB-C, for all the AI tools. Okay, so you can look at this diagram to understand it better. So you're having the editor from where you are interacting with the GitHub, Copilot, and ultimately it will interact with the LLM only, large language model, But whatever be the LLM has that information, so it can respond, with that, related information. What if, I'm having some specific application which is running in my in my machine, and I need the answer related to my data, so what you can do, you can set up one MCP server, okay, and that MCP server will interact with whatever be the data you are having, okay, and ultimately whatever tool, MCP client tool, here in this case we are, working on the VS Code. So VS Code in itself is acting as a MCP client tool. So this VS Code, then with the help of that MCP server, it can interact with the your database, which is present in your machine. Another scenario, this scenario, you're having the web application created on your machine, and the database is also stored on your machine itself. So you can go and set up MCP server to interact with this, application, and ultimately to get the data from that application. So whenever you ask a question to that MCP server, it will get a data from, this database. This database data is not available in the LLM. Another scenario could be you might have application present over here. So probably the REST application is present over here in the my machine, but my data is present online. You know, so my application can connect with that online database with the help of a API. Okay. Third scenario could be, okay, I don't have that application present. Neither I don't have, neither I have the data which is present. So I will just go and configure the MCP, okay, to use this server, MCP server, and ultimately it will interact with the database to get the data with the help of a API. So in our case, what we are going to do, we are going to configure a GitHub MCP server, which is not configured in my machine, which is not configured in my machine, which is not running in my machine. So I will just configure this GitHub server or GitHub MCP server, which is might be running on the, somewhere GitHub hosted machine, and which will ultimately interact with the all the GitHub repositories. So I want that to configure, and in order to configure that, okay, I will have to go and create. So very first thing, let me just disable this GitHub. So by the way, it is the same GitHub, I've configured earlier also. So I'll just configure a new one. Okay. And for configuring that new, GitHub MCP server, I will go inside my project. Okay. And inside my project, there should be one file created, so I should go and create one file, and that file name, should be mcp.json. So I should go and create that file called as mcp.json, and your mcp.json file should be present inside your task manager. There should be a folder called as .vs code. Once you create that folder .vs code, under that I will go and create one file, and that file called as mcp.json file. So we're trying to configure the MCP server which is present online. I'm trying to configure by providing that JSON file, one MCP server which is present online on the somewhere on the GitHub hosted machine, and using this MCP server, I will interact with this, all the repositories available. I will be interacting. So mcp.json, and this is the JSON file I'll just go and include. And what is the name? So GitHub is the name, or maybe my GitHub MCP server. So that's the name I will give. So this is the name of your, okay, my GitHub MCP server. So once you create this file, it should show you something, called a start button. So let me see whether it is showing me. Start button should be visible. It's not showing me as of now. Let me restart this. Okay, and just open the terminal. and open the Visual Studio Code. And once it is open, VS Code, MCP. Over here, there should be a start button. It's not showing. Okay, the name of the file is different. MPC I have given. MCP. MCP.json. So now once you create that appropriate file, can you see this start button? So this will give you an option to start that MCP server, which is not configured on your machine. I'll again repeat this point. So your server is not, this MCP server is not configured in your machine. you know by the way, if you want to configure your MCP server, there is a website created, model context protocol.io. You can visit that website, and that will allow you to create your own MCP server, which you can run on your machine. But I will interact with the MCP server which is present somewhere on the GitHub hosted machine. And this JSON file will allow you to interact with that MCP server. So I'll start. And once my MCP server is running, so it is going to ask you, who is this, running? This MCP server is, owned by Makran. So that is the username I'm having of GitHub. So once it is started, now I can come here, and I will see that a tool available, and whatever be the, your server, it is available over here. So my GitHub MCP server is available. And with the help of this GitHub MCP server, I will be able to do all these things. Okay, and let me now do some enhancement. So let's say I'm okay with that. Now I'll let us run this application, and let's see whether my application is running or not. My application. Now, if I just give one task, so let me see whether this add button is working. Yes, it is working. So I'll just go and give one improvement. Let's say I don't like this add button. So I want this to change the label as add manager. Or first of all, I'll just make this UI to look better. So for that, I will just go and create one issue. So I'll say the prompt. Now with the help of whatever agent you are having, so my -GitHub -MCP server, that's the name of my agent. So create an issue. Okay, where it will create your issue on whatever repository currently you are connected. On that repository, it will go and create an issue. Which repository you are currently connected to the task manager. Currently, I don't have any kind of a issue present. So I want it to create one issue to do some small change. So create an issue to do enhancement in to what is the name of the application? To do manager something. Task manager. Okay. So the task manager, I want you to do some enhancement in the task manager. Okay. Make it UI to look professional, So I'll just create a simple issue, and that issue I can explicitly go and specify, you know, with this MCP server I want, So I can just go and give a pound symbol and I can specify my MCP server name, So create an issue with the help of this MCP server to do enhancement in the task manager application to make UI looks little professional, So I will just go and give this. So with this MCP server, can you see this activating MCP extension, you know, and this is finally, it should go and create an issue. Okay, and let me see whether that issue is created over here. No, it is not created. So what it has given, the tool my MCP server pending for review. It's used. The tool my MCP server where it is pending for review. So it is some kind of a review I need to give. Oh, it's not set. So now it is started. Now let me just go and execute the same task and see whether it is able to do it or not. Okay, so let me just go and make use of my already created GitHub MCP, and this is also going to do a same thing. Let's see whether I'm able to do it with the GitHub. Yeah. So hopefully you should be able to create an issue. Yeah, it is now doing something thing. Okay, this is also not able to do it. Now, without specifying anything, create an issue. I want only issue to be created. I'm the owner of this repository. Okay. To proceed, I need GitHub repository owner and name of your task manager application. Please provide these details. Hmm, okay. So I am owner of, what is my name of the application? Task manager, and which is available on this remote location. So I'll just specify I'm the owner of this repo, and I'll specify the username. Okay, and finally, let me verify there is no issue. And after this, if I just specify that, if I allow that, you know, that MCP server is creating an issue. An issue you can see over here. So when I explicitly specify, that username, so it has created this issue. Okay, and this issue is going to do what? So this is that description of that issue it has taken automatically. So enhance the UI task manager application to make look more professional. This may include improving layout, color scheme, typography, overall user experience. So it has included by default from the agent. So once you create this issue, you can go and assign to one of your team member, or you can go and assign this to one of the coding agent. So I can assign this issue to one of my team member. I can select my team member name, or I can assign that issue to the coding agent, which is Copilot. So I'm assigning this task or this issue to the coding agent. And once I assign this issue to the coding agent, AI coding agent is going to solve that issue. So can you see this? If I assign this issue, now the work will be started. Who is going to do that work? So this Copilot is going to do that work on that issue, whatever it is created, and we will be able to see, the once the issue is completed, you will see a pull request created. Can you see this pull request? And once that pull request is created, inside that pull request only, it will start working on that issue. It has started working on that issue. So who has started working on that issue? That Copilot agent. And if you look at inside this, you will be able to see what it is actually doing. So you can be able to start the session also. There should be a button called a start session. What is that button? So it's performing all that step, and finally you should see somewhere. Yeah, okay. Can you see this view session? So when you click on this view session, what is Copilot doing on behalf of me? I will be able to see all that steps. So Copilot is doing these things for me. So can you see it has created a plan, and it has created that, it has separated that plan into a series of steps, and it is performing that steps. It is executing that steps. So it is still executing the step. once it is completed the execution, it may take up to 5 minutes of time to finish this execution. And once this execution is completed, you will see that feature is implemented. So what you're able to do, you're able to create with the help of that GitHub MCP server. I was able to create an issue. I have assigned that issue to the Copilot agent only. So that Copilot is going to work on that issue. Okay. And Copilot is giving to, give me the resolution to that issue. Okay. And it is so mature. So you will see before and after screenshot also. So here it will give you what is the UI look, before and after this issue get resolved by the Copilot agent, how the UI should look. So everything will be given once this is completed. You can see, I'll show you. And you can see this, all these tasks, okay, is going to perform. And final task is to take a screenshot. Okay. And, document that screenshot in the, pull request. I think, yeah, this is still working. Enhance UI. So once that work is finished, I will go and do one more change with the help of so that your process will be clear. And finally, once I complete with this task, I will deploy this application somewhere so that you can also go and access it. Okay, so it has taken 4 minutes. It will take more 1 or 2 minutes to finish this task. It might take 1 or 2 minutes to finish. I'm just waiting for the Copilot agent to complete this issue. So this is still doing the changes inside the file. Okay, and you will see uh, the issue is ultimately get resolved also once this changes is done by the Copilot. So currently, I'm having this project created under my organization, not in my personal account. So under this organization, I have created. Inside that, I have just few repository. And currently, this issue is open. So this issue is open. But once that task is completed, then that issue will be closed. Okay, this is still working on that issue. I will allow this to complete, and I hope it is completed now. It has done 3 changes. You can see this. Okay. And you will be able to see over here only the screenshot, the before after screenshot. So it has completed all these tasks. So this is doing the testing. And then after that, it will take a screenshot and it will complete the task. Okay. So to finish this, maybe another 1 or 2 minutes it will take. Yeah, so I'll share that link. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. I'm not doing that right now because I want you to concentrate on this. Anyways, I will give you this. Okay, so still it is working. It is completing these three steps are remaining. So test the UI enhancement, take a screenshot and run the code review and security check. Once this is done, this task, this issue is resolved, will be resolved. Still waiting for this to complete. So by the way, let me just explain the flow diagrammatically. So meanwhile, it is working behind the scene. At least that will allow me to do this diagrammatically. So what we have done. So we have created issue, created issue using MCP server. So that is a step one, what we have created. So this step one we have done. What is step two? Once the issue created, okay, somebody need to assign that issue. Who will work on that issue? Who will work on that task? So I have assigned to Copilot itself. So Copilot agent. So I have assigned to the Copilot agent. Once you assign this to Copilot agent is going to start the work on it. So it will start the work by planning what task need to be completed. So Copilot agent then will plan the work. So will plan, will break down those tasks, that overall task I have given, break down into steps, and ultimately it will execute steps. And once it execute a step, it will go for review. It will go for review. So maybe I'm the owner, so it will come for review to me. And once I approve those changes, my issue will be closed. Okay. And And once you approve, so it will close the issue. So this is the step you will normally follow. Once you create an issue, you can go and create a issue manually also. Once you create a issue, you can assign to some developer. you know Once the developer will start working on it, once it is complete, it will go for review. Okay, and once the reviewer approves that changes, the issue will be closed. So okay, so it has almost done. All the things are completed. You can see. So at least everything is completed, done, and you will be able to see the screenshot also once this. And it is worth to show you this. Can you see this? Now, if you look at that pull request, so those screenshot will be appear ultimately over here. Is that screenshot? So this has resolved this issue. Okay, so this is also showing you the reference of the issue number, which has provided an solution. So this fixes an issue number 1, what I have created. And in just a moment, I will see some kind of a screenshot also. So once this is completed, the code QL is completed, checking the code quality and the security vulnerability, then I believe I should see that screenshot. I should be able to see that screenshot. Okay, by the way, I will show you also by executing, by running this application also locally. So all these work, it has completed by that Copilot agent. Okay, so I'm waiting for this to finish. So this has taken almost 15 minutes. So last 15 minutes, this Copilot agent is working on that issue. Yeah, I think it has completed now. Can you see this? Now, if I just go and come to this once again into the organization, within this organization, I have created the repository and repository for task manager. Okay, and here you can see that issue, is still open, but that work is completed. And once the work is completed, somewhere over here, you should see what work it has completed, and it is waiting for review. So I should, as a owner, I should go and give that review and give a approval. So you see all these changes it has started. So where is that screenshot? Here only you should see that screenshot of the application itself. Anyway, anyways, I'll just go and show you that screenshot locally also. Initial plan, okay, and enhance professional design, showing you the all the changes. Okay, but let me add and review. Okay, and let me submit my review with approval. So let me approve those changes. And once you approve those changes, what Copilot agent has done for you, so you'll be able to see those changes approved. And now you will be able to see that issue is also closed once you approve those changes. No, once you approve those changes, you need to merge those also. Okay, let me merge it also. So pull request need to be merged. So I will go here and merge the pull request. I think still some work is going on in a background. That's the reason it is saying, okay, the pull request is still in work progress. I can't. Now I can merge. And now once I merge that pull request, okay, you will notice that issue get closed and my work is merged. So once the issue is closed, you can see that under closed, inside open, you don't have a any issue, and pull request is also closed. And once the pull request is closed, my code will be available in the main branch. In the main branch, your code is available. And once it is available in the main branch, I can just pull that code, so I can even ask to pull the latest update. So I can ask Copilot only to pull the latest update. So with the help of this get pull origin main, okay, so this will be pulled locally, and once you pull changes locally, so you'll be able to see the output. Okay, and this is the kind of output it is showing you after that UI enhancement. So you can see this, how earlier my UI was looking, and how beautiful, after that issue get resolved, my UI is looking. This is, looking much, much, much more professional than the earlier. And I can even go and deploy to someone, you know, and there is a simplest way to deploy. You can go and make use of a GitHub pages. You can deploy this application on the GitHub pages. So on the repository setting, if you go inside the repository setting, under a pages, GitHub pages, so it should allow you to deploy that. But currently for my organization, it is disabled. I can't do that on my organization level. Okay. I think I need to change the setting to be able to use that pages under the organization. Okay, so that's the part of Okay, so there is a setting mismatch. That's the reason I am not able to do it. But on my personal account, that setting is available. Okay, so let me create one on my personal account. Same repository I'm creating, public repository I'm making, and I'm creating same repository. And quickly I'll show you. So let me link this. So I'll add another origin. And from the local, I will just now push where you want to push. This time I want to push it to the origin too. And what you want to push, I will push the main branch content. So once you push this main branch content to this, so you will see that same code is available over here also. And once you see that code available, you can go to setting, because on my personal account, that setting is available. So you can go to the pages, and from here, you can deploy your code. So I want from the branch only to deploy, but which branch? So from the main branch, I want to deploy. And once you save this changes, so I should see though that URL somewhere over here. So that URL you will be also able to access. Because once it is deployed on the GitHub pages, everybody from the world can access it by using a URL. My application, you can access it. But on the GitHub pages, mostly it will deploy only a static application. Okay, once it is deployed, probably after some time, let's refresh. And over here, you should get. So that link should be visible over here. Once that link is visible, I'll give you that link. Just a sec. It is taking, yes. So it has created this link. Now, let me just go and open this link. So you can see this output, whatever we have created, or whatever rather coding agent has created, we are able to deploy it on the GitHub pages. And you can also access this from the GitHub pages. And same example, I can run, like so probably this is non-training related, so I can add that. So I'm able to successfully deploy to this URL, and your application is available on that server, on the GitHub pages server, so that everyone can go and access it. Okay, so that's it, guys. So we have created this application. We have got initially application created with the simple look and feel. Then I have created one issue with the help of a MCP server on the GitHub. Okay, and then that issue is assigned to coding agent. Coding agent has gone ahead and created a plan, executed those plan, and given me this kind of a application, which I have deployed on the GitHub pages. You know, so that's it, guys. From this session. So I hope you know, you have learned something from this session. So if you have any kind of a questions, query, now I'm available. You can ask those questions or queries in the chat. If you do have any kind of a questions. Okay, so you can, by the way, go and access this link, and let me know also whether that link is accessible. So if you don't have a question, so thank you so much for attending this. I will request you to give me a feedback. So RG has shared a feedback link. Please do feel the feedback. Okay. And I hope that you liked this session. So thank you so much for attending this, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you so much, Kamal. Thanks, Hemant. Thanks, Anand. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for attending. Uh, in the first part, we have covered the coding agent. So you can just go and look at this material only. One second, I'll just show you that material. So this is the overall material you can just explore related to one course on the which is provided by the Microsoft. And you can start with this course at least. Now I've just stopped the sharing. I've pasted that into a chat box. You can see that in the chat box. And by the way, it will be available on our YouTube channel also. So after probably 2 days, you can just check out our YouTube channel. This session will be available on the YouTube channel also. So thank you so much for attending, and I'll drop. Thank you so much. I have given you a resources which is free only. GitHub Copilot Fundamental, that link I have given. Na? So that is the official link of a Microsoft course. You will get the study material related to the Copilot, GitHub Copilot. You will get the material. Okay. Okay, then bye bye guys. We'll see you next time. I'm disconnecting.